film? Ploughman's again, aye?
Ploughman's.
Aye. Always has plough. Every day. With cheddar.
What day is it?
It's Friday. Always cheddar on the Friday.
What the fuck is that you're eating?
It's a bit of everything really. Bit of tomato, bit of chicken, bit of cheese.
Chicken and cheese?
Cucumber. Aye.
That's a strange combination.
Aye, well,
Fucking weirdo.
says Mr. Friday Ploughman's. No, I didn't have a lot of stuff in the fridge this morning, Just cobbled together something. You know, I normally have a bit of takeover. Leftovers, the takeaways.
Takeover, leftovers.
Aye.
Fucking shite.
Like, you know, Chinese food, like a Chinese delivery.
Fuck
Normally have a
Chinese.
bit of that.
My pal was down the pub last week, had a maggot in his Chinese.
Seriously? Where did they get it from?
What, the maggot?
No. Fucking Chinese takeaway.
Fucking no, local Chinese place.
Fuck, that's not the one I got. Mind you, I've never had a maggot out of there before.
That's what you think.
Aye. Yeah.
You got salad in there?
It's a bit of green shit, aye.
Maybe after.
You know, just don't know what's in the fridge. Missing
Well,
my stuff.
because there's less green shit in mine than there was earlier on.
Sure.
I made it this morning. And I definitely put more lettuce in there.
Well, are you trying to accuse me of going into your sandwich and stealing your green shit?
Well, you were alone in that room briefly this morning, weren't you? With my box.
I was in there with his box as well. You don't hear him complaining about his fucking tomatoes being missing. Fucking hell.
Did you count
You
them,
know what?
Did you count them, Mr.
You know what? I'm going to be glad when you fuck off on holiday.
Not as glad as me.
Where are you going?
I'll just be at home with wife, kids, in the garage, working on my bike.
What kind of bike you got?
I've got a Triumph Bonneville.
Nice.
Alright, aye.
Good choice.
I'm a scooter man myself, you know.
Just fucking imagine you driving about with a wee stupid fucking flag in the back.
Aye, we matching crash helmet and that. You know, I've always fancied one of the French ones, you know, they're normally yellow. What are they? What? Vespas, that's the thing. Fucking
It's
yellow
Italian.
Vespa.
It's Italian, you fucking trumpet.
What did I say?
French.
Did I? Fucking French, man. Can't live in Paris on a fucking Vespa. See, fuck you, man, because now you've mentioned Italian, I've got Italian food on the brain. Oh, I could fucking go on a nice wee bit of pasta bolognese. Bit of fucking parmesan on the top, you know what I mean?
That's enough
What?
for me.
What's the matter with you? You don't like parmesan?
Fuck off.
What's that? I didn't steal his letters on purpose. I thought it was my box. That's why I've got my name on it now. Not going to fucking make that mistake again, I'll tell you that.
It was the 17th of February and it was cold. The drive into work had been, well, easy, and I completed the budget reports and the business plan for the next 2 years and I'd posted them off. So, pulling up into the shadow of this Hulk, my Hulk, actually felt quite good that day. And Fulton was on holiday. So So I went right up to my office and I cranked the heating up and I put the radio on, and that was the last time that I'd had the radio on in my office. It was the Proclaimers to start the day, pretty good, eh? And I sat down at my desk, and no reports from last night. I knew they'd calm down without him stalking about the place. And then breakfast was being served, and I could hear the chairs and the tables being dragged across the floor. Puts my teeth on edge. And then the smell of the eggs, it just clings to the air, like. And then it was Morrissey. Like, I've never understood why a guy could stand about singing about fucking fashion like a whining little fuck! I actually shouted that out loud. The hall alarm had sounded, and there was a commotion going on 4 doors down the hallway. I jumped to attend and tripped over my fucking desk. I sprinted to the door. And then when I turned in the door, he was just fucking hanging there. And I panicked, and I don't fucking panic. And then the smell hit me. Police! Ambulance! Sick bay now! This was you wee lesbian cunt, said a voice from the bottom bunk. That box! Now! I shouted. I ran forward and I took that boy down from those bars myself. I lifted him down. His face was black and blue, and he was unrecognisable, and as I was laying him down on the floor, my knees were slipping in piles of blood and piss and shit. That's when I saw a blue uniform enter the room. So I just stood blank and let her do her thing, and I was trying to wipe all the shit off my hands, down my trousers, and the cell was a blur. The guy was 20 years old. This was his first offence. He'd sourced some jeans or something from the laundry, and he'd torn the material into strips and sort of pleated it into like a ligature. He hanged himself off the bars during the night. There was a deep laceration on his lower left arm, 6 inches running vertically from elbow to wrist. And I've always said that open razors should never be allowed in prison. The nurse was sliding in the filth, and I stood forward and I bolted her, tried to keep her safe. And she shrugged me off and told me to fuck off in my own prison. He'd been caught at Stansted Airport, where a camera full of cannabis trying to help his parents pay for his first year at uni, and he was shitting himself apparently when they first found him. I'd noticed he'd retracted. I noticed they were putting on him and he was being jostled around. He was that kind of effeminate way, you know. And Wally was circling him like a fucking vulture. Every T was crossed and every I was dotted, I'm telling you. The nurse had covered his face with a sheet and declared 0820. And that's when it hit me. That's when I realised that I'd killed him. I'd killed that boy. Me. And that's how everybody around here would always see that.
She's fucking right there. Everybody who comes into this prison for the first time is scared. If they tell you any different, they're lying. First thing you've got to do is put on a front, a mask, if you will. Otherwise you won't survive. I knew from the minute I saw that boy that he wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. It was his first offence. It was the first time he'd been in jail. It was probably even the first time he'd broken the law, if you don't include smoking a few joints in university. He didn't fit in. He didn't look as if he belonged. But then again, who does? But he looked too young to be in this place. And he was very young. He looked younger than he was. He was skinny and pale obviously a homosexual. He'd probably already been raped several times in the showers. It was my last day before I went off on leave for 3 weeks. I only had 5 minutes with him. He kept saying, it was only hash. I mean 5 kilos, but it was only hash. At least it wasn't smack. It wasn't going to do anybody any harm. Well, I beg to differ. It clearly did him some harm. He presented as being vulnerable, agitated, distressed, depressed, and I assessed him as being a danger to himself. Obviously, other people were a danger to him. But the most pressing concern for me was that he posed a serious risk to himself. So the last thing I did before I clocked off was I took the unprecedented decision to go and see the governor and ask her to ensure that he was placed in isolation on a suicide watch with immediate effect. I couldn't do so myself because I was about to leave the buildings. And then I clocked off, walked out the back gate, went home for 3 weeks and tried not to think about this place. The morning I came back, in the changing rooms, at my locker, polishing my boots, putting on my uniform, with wee Davy right next to me. Wee Davy McCallum, who wants to be everybody's friend. David McCallum, the man from Uncle Ben's. He didn't mention it. He didn't mention the death. He said nothing about the boy's suicide. I suspect because he didn't have the fucking balls. Instead, it was some inane shite about somebody in Jersey who dug up a potato in their garden, and it appeared to have Mother Teresa's face on it. We went along to the handover. It wasn't mentioned there either. Was that because they thought I didn't care? Which would make me out to be some kind of monster. Was it because they didn't care? Which would, to me, make them appear to be monsters. Had they forgotten? It had happened 2 and a bit weeks ago. Is that possible? Death of a young 20-year-old boy? And they'd already forgotten it and moved on? I don't know. I then went to my pigeonhole, and there was a letter from the coroner's office asking me to attend an inquest into a death that at that time I knew nothing about. She'd taken him off suicide watch and out of isolation after just a few days, assessing him as no longer posing a threat to himself. That decision cost him his life. He's dead now. His parents no longer have a child. She killed him. She's fucking right. She killed him. She'll pay. stand.
I said take a seat.
This won't take long.
Something to say, Mackay?
When were you going to tell me?
Tell you what, Mackay.
Don't give me that shit, Mom.
Don't give me that insubordination, Mackay.
He's dead.
Who?
Who? We have a death every day in this place. Has somebody died every day
Get
since
to the fucking point,
since
Mackay.
I've been on leave? How many deaths have we had? How many are dead, Mom? How many?
Why don't you enlighten me, Mackay?
The last thing I did before I went on leave was ask you to put a young man, 20-year-old, recently an inmate here, in isolation, on suicide watch.
That happened, Mackay.
I've just found
He
out
was
that he
picked-
killed himself. He killed himself.
That is correct, Mackay. Think about your sentence. He killed himself.
Why?
He was put on 72 hours, suicide watch, standard procedure.
And you took him off.
Standard procedure,
You
Mackay.
took him off and he's
He was
dead.
then in isolation for a further week. Standard procedure. He was presenting as normal.
So normal that within hours he killed himself.
Are we a psychiatric facility, Mackay?
You could have sent him to one instead of putting him where you fucking well put him.
One
Which
in,
was
one out, Mackay.
where? One in alive, one out dead. Is that the new policy? Is that the way that you're going to cut budgets? Save money?
Are you expecting the Prime Minister to empty her wallet into this facility, Mackay?
Where did you put it?
Burrows.
You put a vulnerable young man, obviously a homosexual, if I might say so, Ma'am, and you put him in a cell with a known violent, homophobic psychopath, and you wonder why he gets even more distressed and more depressed and kills himself. He's dead because of you, because of that decision, because of that oversight, because you didn't care.
Are you aware of the meaning of the term suicide?
You've already asked me that. Yes. He
He
killed himself.
killed himself.
We
Mackay.
have a duty of care.
This is a correctional facility, Mackay.
He wasn't on a death sentence. He'd smuggled some dope into the country, for fuck's sake.
Are you rewriting the law now, Mackay?
He was on remand. He hadn't even been sentenced. He'd still be alive today if you hadn't made that decision. Mom. Can you not take responsibility? Can you not admit that you were wrong? Wrong. He's dead because of you.
And how are we to act, Mackay?
You could have kept him safe, which was your job.
I followed procedure to the letter, Mackay. That is my job. I spend the budget that we have, Mackay. That is my job. You are being insubordinate at this point. That is not your job, Mackay.
My job is to ensure the safety of my officers and the prisoners, and so is yours. You had a responsibility to him to ensure his welfare and to protect him. He's dead because of you. I'm just asking you to take some responsibility and admit that you were wrong. Why are you incapable of doing that, Mom?
I'm capable of conducting myself correctly and professionally. Mackay,
Effectively, you
get
killed
out.
him.
Your excuse.
Instead of thinking about the cuts to the budget, you should consider the cuts on his wrist. He's dead because of you. You understand?
I understand fully. Your excuse.
Fucking going. And so are you.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Oh man. Fuck's sake. How the fuck did it come to this? That wee fucking guy's deep because he never had a fucking chance. And now I'm paying for it now, eh? Fucking nightmares every night for the last 3 weeks. Sweating, shaking, shivering. Seeing that poor wee bastard hung there in his cell. Bleeding, lonely. And all because he fucking me. I should have protected him. He was 20-year-old. 20 fucking years old. And I couldn't look after him. Instead, I decided, oh, there's some drugs, pal. How about you go and fucking get rid of them for me? Poor wee bastard probably died because of the fucking drugs that I've gave him. I remember it just like it was fucking yesterday, because it pretty much was. I'm on the fucking bottom dancer, and I look up, and there's a bit of fucking commotion. And the next minute, the alarm's gone off. The governor, fucking pack of guards are firing across to this cell, and I fucking knew it. I knew it. He's dead. Governor's in there and they're screaming and shouting, and I hear fucking ambulance, I hear all sorts of shit. The prisoners are fucking raging. And she comes out, and she just fucking stands there, covered in heat, tape, and blood. And I thought, what the fuck? What the fuck am I seeing here? Next minute, everybody's told, get back to your cells, get back to your cells. And everything's just fucking crazy. People shouting, people fucking abusing the guards, the governor. Because clearly, in their eyes, it's their fault. But I've got to take some fucking personal responsibility for this. See, this is no fucking sitting with me at all. And I'm losing my mind. If I didn't fucking do something about it, I could be the one that's up there hanging. Because my mental health in here's starting to get fucked. Lying in here fucking grating, sweating, waking up, thinking about my missus, thinking about my fucking kids and what I've done to them. Oh aye, that's starting to come up now. And in the morning I'm just going to have to get up out of my bed, put the mask on, and go back out there as if fucking nothing happened. Well, that's exactly what I'm just going to have to fucking do, eh?
Right, I've got something I need to say, okay? I've got something I need to say, and something you need to hear. It's going to sound fucking awful, right? You're not going to want to hear it, but bear with me here, right? I'm glad that boy killed himself, right? Obviously, it shouldn't be allowed to happen. Obviously, it was a failure that it was allowed to happen, and it was allowed to happen. Let's be very clear about that. But here's the thing. Everybody knew that poor boy was depressed. And I want to try and reach out to him, make him feel like he's not alone. You know what I mean? But every day when I come in here, all I hear is, you're not supposed to make friends with the prisoners. It's not your job to care. Well, that is the fucking problem. I figured that out, okay? We're not allowed to care. And we do care. Okay? I want to be very clear about that. Everyone in here cares. They just fucking pretend they don't. Okay? Rona, my boss. Stuck up fucking cowie a woman, okay? But she cares. Because I was there when they found that boy hanging. And she ran to him and she grabbed him like it was her own fucking flesh and blood. So you can't tell me she doesn't care, right? And Fulton, right? That fucking Tory voting cunt. Even he fucking cares. He does fucking care. I've seen it. When he came back off his leave and found out that boy had died, despite his recommendations, he fucking raging at the rest of us. Couldn't he look us in the eye for how angry he was that that had been allowed to happen? So you can't tell me he doesn't care. And the prisoners, right? They'll pretend they don't care. They'll make jokes about it. Pretend that it happens all the time. I work a lot of nights in here, and I promise you, I've heard those grown men crying in their cells when the lights go out. Because of what happened to that boy. So you can't tell me we don't care. That's the problem though. I'm the junior officer. Nobody gives a fuck what I've got to say. Nobody cares. But I'll tell you what though. See if I ever ended up in charge of a place like this, I don't know if I'd let anybody out who I would let out. But the people that run this place, I would damn sure have them fucking behind these bars as well. I promise you that.
It was my second tour of Northern Ireland. We were at the Pig. Call came over the radio. Proceed to Agro Corner. A more appropriately named place I've never known. Something was kicking off. We got there was a crowd gathering, mob coming from the side streets, pretty much every direction. A few fires were lit on the waste ground. And then more came. They started throwing stones, sticks, anti-British abuse. We were told to form a line. We did. More stones. We retaliated with some tear gas, some rubber bullets, baton rounds. Then I was ordered to form a snatch squad. Go through the lines, grab the first camp we could see, and bring him back through. So we did. We grabbed somebody who was about 70, threw him in the back of the Pig, and three of us started beating him. And beating him. Fists, boots, sticks, rifle butts. The Pig took off. We swaying from side to side. We kept on hitting him and hitting him. We could hardly see what we were doing. I'm sure we were hitting each other half the time. But we kept on going. The vehicle went round a corner. We were all thrown to the side. I landed on top of him. That didn't stop me. I just kept on punching and kicking. It must have gone on for about 10 minutes. He wasn't moving. He wasn't protecting himself anymore. And then the vehicle came to a sudden halt. Somebody opened the back doors. Light flooded in. I looked at the boy. He wasn't breathing anymore. There was blood all over his face. One of his eyeballs was hanging down by over one of his cheeks. We rolled him out, threw him out onto the cobbles, shut the back doors, and went back to barracks. My commanding officer, who I thought was going to court-martial me, patted me on the back and said, "Well done." Every night for 20 years, when I close my eyes, I see his face. I've seen that face every night unless I've had enough to drink. Until now. Last night that changed. Last night when I closed my eyes, I saw the face of the boy that she fucking killed. The boy who died because of her. That's what I see.
just reading, sir.
We're in the library, Mr. Griff.
What are you reading? Just story, sir.
What?
Story. This one.
Can you even read?
We've got ourselves a reader.
Yes, sir.
What's, not a test or anything, but what does that say? What's that word there, Deeks?
Speak.
Deeks. Speak. Deeks.
Punishment.
Punishment.
Speak.
Very good. Punishment. What does that mean?
It's a pretty...
What a shit.
I didn't write it, sir, to be fair.
Don't be fucking smart at me, you wee cunt. What's wrong with you? You're a wee bit agitated.
Nothing, sir.
Is it the voices? Is it the voices, Deeks?
He's called to you, answer him.
No, sir.
Come on, what are they saying? Are they speaking Russian?
Speak, are you deaf?
No.
What
sir.
are the voices saying, Deeks? Can you hear them, Mr. Gray?
I can hear something.
Can you
Something
hear them, Mr. Gray? What are they saying? Wee voices.
Hello?
Deeks.
Geeks.
You can hear the wee voices. What are they saying?
Fuck off.
What was that? Fuck off, sir! Say fuck off! You get the fuck off! Get the fuck off!
You know, I wasn't on duty.